Good morning, everyone. Here we are again. And guess what? We have snow. We got snow out there. Covered my potatoes. Let's see. Here. Spring potatoes. Fire's going. I've got... Ooh, I'll show you guys. Hot. So this is a good one. You guys know what these are? Yes? Chestnuts. Ooh, ouch, hot. I roasted them. Oh, ooh. On the stove. I may have roasted them too long, which is fine. All I do is, if I do that, just put them in some boiling water and they soften up again. Ouch. Ooh, too hot to eat. I love chestnut. It's not... everyone's thing. They're crunchy. I need to take them off. Daniela did it again. Okay, as I said, you can put them in boiling water. This one is not hard. So good. Oh, they're hot. Yep. See? They're all kind of hard. Let's see. Put them in boiling water and they soften up again. And they're good with just about any kind of meat to put on, this and that. One thing with chestnuts is you can collect them, then put them in a bag, and you have to put them in the freezer. Because there's little larvas in there, and if they're not in the freezer, you'll have all these little larvas turning into little worms, and they come all out. Yeah, I had to learn that the hard way many, many years ago. All right, chestnuts. Okay, so I tallied up the and it was I have no idea why that didn't tally up in the other one. So another interesting thing, a couple of my friends sent me, and I'm just going to mention that again because, okay, if one does these things with a certain agenda rather than, why am I reading the Bible right now? I'm doing it as a condition, right? For restoration, right? In particular for one person. And that's just my give and take, okay? With that person who's already in spirit world, by the way. And, all right, not going to get further into that. So, in Matthew 17, there is a verse that the 21, the last one actually, and 17, I believe, that's in some Bibles it's in it, and in some Bibles it isn't. And it has to do with prayer and fasting. And in a little video that I saw where they went and looked which Bibles is it in, which ones it isn't, and it's supposedly in the newer Bibles it isn't in it anymore, or in mine it's on the footnote, right? Yes? Okay. They said, oh, it's because the power of prayer and fasting, right? And they don't want that in there. Well, actually the exact same verse is in Mark as well. And so they found that when they revise the Bibles or they're going through it again, this, now through the translations, I don't know what they found, that actually in Matthew, there is no such verse. So did they mix up Mark and Matthew, or they didn't know which one actually said it, or where it was found, and so they just stuck it in both at the time? Okay, so that's the discrepancy. Okay, it's not found actually in the original handwriting script of Matthew, and that is why it's been taken out in some Bibles, newer Bibles. Okay. Mystery solved, no big deal. It's still in there. And what was assumed that, some people didn't want, right, to be the power of fasting and prayer known, is not true. Okay? Dear me. People. It's so easy to just go and kind of check out. Okay, is this true? Let's go and have a look. Why is that? Right? Yes? Rather than assume on your own, come to your own conclusions that may have nothing to do. Well, what am I doing here? It's the same. Okay. But I do go and check things out, right? If I have questions in certain things, so I think I'm okay. I'm going to use my gold pen for my beautiful Bible here. I also went and thought, okay, well, let's go and check out. This is actually not as old as I thought. Well, there is older versions of it, but this is a 1990 New Revised Jerusalem Bible, Reader's Edition. Oh, okay. Supposedly the original one is, what was it called? They didn't like on how masculine it was. Okay, they didn't say uncivilized, but it was just about dry. God forbid, right? Well, here again in Numbers, doesn't sound very interesting. Why do I need to know all this? But it's just depends again. If you have a job to do, what do you do? Huh? Do you do it with, gosh, again? Yeah? I remember in the store that I worked at, every so many days you had to restock things, right? Yes? Same old in a way, right? Yes, this, that, and you had these buggyfuls of whatever, and they all had their space, their little place, this, that. That never got old for me. Not only that, but while I was doing that, you were putting, someone stuck that in the wrong place. Let's put that again where it belongs. I always enjoyed doing that, right? Yes? But at the same time, I also had to run the register. Yes, we went back and forth, which was that was actually a bit annoying. Eh? Like to stick with one job. But, yes, that's how it works in a store. Anywho, so I always put my best into it, even with the customers as well, right? I didn't want to be a grumpy employee behind the cash register, yeah? I wanted to have some connection to the people. Actually made it possible for me to take a paycheck home, yeah? Right? Besides my employer, right? So, being friendly and really giving the best of yourself, and here in the mountains, interesting thing, oftentimes, certain people only come out of their mountains here, out of their hollers, once, twice a month, right? Especially older people. And they come and they just love it when they come across someone that is willing to talk. Yes? And they'll tell you all about what they've done in the last 2 weeks, this, that, and of course, if they're alive, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, yes, And of course, I'm like asking questions. Yes, while I'm checking them out. Well, guess what? While I'm checking out, sometimes there were people in line, and you could just tell, and talking again, talking again. Yes. Here's the thing, though. I remember one time someone said something in line, and I stopped. I said, when it is your turn, I will give you also my attention. 100%. You will get the same thing. Right? Yes? And if you don't like to stand in line, then how about come at a time where you already know there's hardly anybody in the store. Right? Yes? Okay. Yeah, I did that too, right? How dare I? As an employee behind the cash register. Mm. You know, the thing is, if people, when you stand in line and they start talking, okay, I do that too. I stand in line and I start talking with people. Okay, haven't done that in a long time, but when I did, the same thing. How do I make my time in line better? Talking to people. Goes a lot faster. By the time you get up front, you're going, hey, wait, we weren't done talking yet. Oh, we're already up here. Right? How do we do things in life? With what kind of an attitude? Yes? How hard does one make one's own life, really, when it comes down to it? Get upset over things you don't need to get upset. If you find a bit of a different solution to be. Yes? Okay. Well, anyway. So, there it is. Had to say that. Oh, I said. So, numbers. Well, first of all, I like numbers. I always liked math. I was always good in math, too. I'm going to do, again, this is a condition I started. I'm going to make the best out of it with whatever comes my way here, right? And make it more interesting. For myself, maybe for you guys too. All right, the tribe of Levi. Levi. I don't know, how did I say that actually?
It's That's probably Levi.
Is it Levi?
Yeah.
CC knows. Okay, the priest. Hey, I'm still gonna go by the regular time for the animals. Okay, so I'm gonna go out there today. You need your rest with that neck.
That is not helping.
What?
Rest.
That's not helping.
Is helping.
Cece's hurting. The priests. So this is Numbers 3. These were the descendants of Aaron and Moses at the time when Yahweh spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai. These were the names of Aaron's sons, Nadab, the eldest, then Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. Now we're again in a book where these guys are still alive. We know 2 of them didn't make it. Such were the names of Aaron's sons, priests anointed and invested with the powers of the priesthood. I wonder if just being a Levi qualified you for that, I guess. Nadab and Abihu, here we go, died in Yahweh's presence in the desert of Sinai when they offered unauthorized fire before Yahweh. They left no children, and so it fell to Eleazar and Ithamar to exercise the priesthood under their father Aaron. They had no children. How old were they?
Bud?
I think he's sitting outside.
Oh, you think he's outside?
I thought. I can't remember. Didn't hear him come back in. The Levites, I guess then it's not Levites, Levites, their duties. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, muster the tribe of Levi and put it at the disposal of the priest Aaron. They must be at his service. They will undertake the duties incumbent on him and the whole community before the tent of meeting, in serving the dwelling, and they will be in charge of all the furnishings of the tent of meetings and undertake the duties incumbent on the Israelites in serving the dwelling. You will present the Levites. That doesn't sound right anymore now. To Aaron and his sons as men dedicated. They will be given to him by the Israelites. You will register Aaron and his sons, who will carry out their priestly duty. but any unauthorized person who comes near must be put to death. Dear me. Also, I read up some on translations as well, and there's definite questionable things. Oh, maybe that's what they weren't happy with. This Bible must be put to death. Done. Their privileged status. I doubt it really actually worked that way. I can't see that. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, "Look, I myself have chosen the Levites from the Israelites instead of all the firstborn, those who emerge first from the womb in Israel. The Levites therefore belong to me, for every firstborn belongs to me. On the day when I struck down all the firstborn in Egypt, I consecrated all the firstborn in Israel, human and animal, to be my own. They are mine, Yahweh's." Again, I think there is a restoration, a spiritual restoration process already going on, because God lost Cain. He really did, right? Yes? So he had to regain Cain in some way, right? So that's my feeling is this is a big part of what this is all about. The firstborns. Yeah. Be interesting to a study on firstborns when it comes down to it among people of belief, and see what their character is like. Yeah, wouldn't it? Yes, I'm a firstborn. Well, I'm a firstborn to my mom. My dad was a busy dude when it came to all that. There we go. Census of the Levites. Yahweh spoke to Moses in the desert of Sinai and said, "You must take a census of Levi's descendants by families and clans. All the males of the age of 1 month and over will be counted." At Yahweh's word, Moses took a census of them as Yahweh had ordered. These were the names of Levi's sons: Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. Merari. Huh. These were the names of Gershon's sons by their clans: Libni and Shimei. Ooh. Reminds me of Shinny. It's a little one that's in spirit world. Well, she's not so little anymore. Kohath's sons by their clans: Amram, Ishar, Hebron, and Uziel. Merari's sons by their clans: Mali and Mushi. Mali and Mushi. These were the clans of Levi, grouped by families. From Gershon were descended the Libnite and Shimite clans. These were the Gershonite clans. Their full number, counting the males of 1 month and over, came to 7,500. Well, numbers are much smaller, but that's because that's just all the little clans. The Gershonite clans pitched their camp behind the dwelling on the west side. The leader of the house of Gershon was Eliasaph, son of Lael. As regards the tent of meeting, the Gershonites had charge of the dwelling, the tent and its covering, the screen for the entrance to the tent of meeting, the curtaining of the court, the screen for the entrance to the court surrounding the dwelling, and the altar and the courts requiring in dealing with all this. Oh, so we're getting down to who had the job, all the different jobs of taking care of certain things, the different tribes of that. How organized? Father, you're so organized. Yes, I can imagine the chaos if you didn't give. Or the fighting over who gets to do what. Ah, dear me. Infighting is one of those things. It's just... From Kohath were descended the Amramite, Isharite, Hebronite, and Uzielite. clans. We are the Wootnites here. These were the these were the Kohathite clans. Their full number, counting males of 1 month and over, came to 8,300. There's something about writing numbers down too. I love numbers. Numbers are just a cool thing. Numbers are so set. I like when things are set. I guess that's why, in a way, I enjoy reading all this too, because it's set. These are set things. This isn't to be argued over. This isn't to be changed. This isn't to be. This is set. Set, set, set. Okay, I like it. Okay, so, they were in charge of the sanctuary. The Kohathite clans pitched their camp on the south side of the dwelling. The leader of the house of the Kohathite clans was Eliasaphan, son of Uziel. You know what? I bet you too, the way this is set up, and whoever is in charge of whatever also, again, is you're going to, same thing, we're all going to move forward together. The ones in the front of the Levites, right, is they're going to already, set up, and they already start setting up the circumference of the tent of dwelling, and then all that, and then by the time they're done, then the other ones are ready to move in to pitch up the tent, where the actual mercy seat is in, and all that. And I can just see on how this, it's just like worked like a charm. The leader of the house of the Kohathite clans was Eliasaphan, son of Uziel. They were in charge of the ark, the table, the lampstand, the altars, the sacred vessels used in the liturgy, and the curtain with all its fittings. The chief of the Levite leaders was Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest. He supervised the people responsible for the sanctuary. From Merari were descendants the Malite and Mushite clans. Malite and Mushite. Something about these names. These were the Merarite clans. Their full number, counting the males of 1 month and over, came to 6,200. The leader of the house of the Merarite clans was Zuriel, son of Abihail. They pitched their camp on the north side of the dwelling. Okay, got one more. The Merarites were in charge of the framework of the dwelling, with its crossbars, poles, sockets, and all its accessories and fittings, and also the poles round the court, with their sockets, pegs, and cords. Okay. What were the other ones? No. Finally, on the east side, in front of the dwelling, in front of the tent of meeting, towards the east, was the camp of Moses and Aaron and his sons. Who had charge of the sanctuary on behalf of the Israelites. Any unauthorized person coming near was to be put to death. Here we go again. Bloodthirsty people. The total number of male Levites of the age of 1 month and over, whom Moses counted by clans, as Yahweh had ordered, came to 22,000. Hmm. 15, 21, 22. Exactly. Yeah. The numbers are right. The Levites and the ransoming of the firstborn. This is going to be an interesting one, no doubt. Yahweh said to Moses, Take a census of all the firstborn of the Israelites, all the males from the age of 1 month and over. Oh, just the guys. Take a census of them by name. Oh, this was one of the problems, as I said, they had with this Bible, right? And women are, well, I mentioned too. Well, okay. I guess we're just there. It's about the guys. Okay, it's all right. It's okay. I don't have a problem being guys being the subject, women being the object. I'm perfectly fine with that if the guys do their job. Okay. You will then present the Levites to me, Yahweh, instead of Israel, and similarly the Levites cattle instead of the firstborn cattle of the Israelites. As Yahweh ordered, Moses took a census of all the firstborn of the Israelites. Now, all right, let's keep going. The total count by name of the firstborn from the age of 1 month and over came to 22,273. 22. That's not that many considering. I mean, it was from all the Israelites. Of 603,550 minus the Levites, there were only 22,273 firstborns. Men. Oh, that's just men too. Interesting. I wonder if that's... I could go and check out. Right, in the United States, okay, how many people and how many firstborns are there? Be interesting how that would tally up with this. Yahweh then spoke to Moses and said, take the Levites instead of all the firstborn of the Israelites, and the Levites' cattle instead of their cattle. The Levites will be mine, Yahweh's. Oh, I see. 22,000 and 22,273. Do you guys see how close that is? Oh. Oh. Huh. Take the Levites instead of all the firstborn of the Israelites, and the Levites' cattle instead of their cattle. The Levites will be mine, Yahweh's, for the ransom of the 273 firstborn of the Israelites in excess of the number of Levites. Oh, there we go. You will take 5 shekels for each by the sanctuary shekel, at 20 gerah to the shekel. You will then give this money to Aaron and his sons as the ransom for the extra number. Okay, so a lot of this is not in the physical. This is all spiritual foundations. That's the interesting. Okay. Oh, wow. That really deserves greater study. Well, some of this is actually in the divine principle explained quite clearly. Moses took the ransom money for the extra ones on ransom by the Levites. He took the money for the firstborn of the Israelites, 1,365 shekels, by the sanctuary shekel. And Moses then handed over the ransom money to Aaron and his sons, at Yahweh's bidding, as Yahweh had ordered Moses. That's it. Oh, 3. Oh, that's interesting. Ransom. Ransom. Ransom them out. Okay, so that's an interesting one on how important it is that the Levites are represented all as firstborns, right? Yes? Total takeover by God when it comes down to it. Interesting. I've been thinking about that all day long, trying to figure out. But again, right? If we know the story of Cain and Abel, again, what's God trying to do here, establish here? There are so many things spiritually we just don't understand, right? Yes, yeah. As I said, people are so confused and confounded by spirit life, really, when it comes down to it, that one just rather believes it doesn't exist, right? Yes, well, why not, right? And be done with it. Right? Just live in the physical. Having lived nearly 60 years old, 60 years now, observe the people out there, right? I don't think that works. It's not working. I don't think people can disregard their spiritual nature. If you do, yeah, again, everyone has to make up their own mind on what did I talk about in the beginning. Yes? You give your best. I think the way that you give your best all your life is you should not disregard your spirit life. Yes? And do the best you can there as well. Someone said today to me in a message, yeah, you're a sweet person unless you're being wronged. What? I went back and I said, well, people can wrong me. I'm not going to stay silent if people are bullying others. So again, how are people looking at someone that has something to say or goes, no, you're not going to talk about someone like that you hardly know, or just assume about things about them and completely disregard all their work that they've done beforehand. And amazingly, they said, you're not going to do that. I'm going to have to say something about it, right? Yes? Here, with this little one sentence, couple of sentences in Matthew that have been left out now because it's somewhere else in the Bible and not supposedly Matthew didn't write that. Right? Taken out, people assume, oh, it's because of what it says. Well, that's not true. Right? Again, why not just go and do a little bit of studying before one jumps on a bandwagon or, oh, wow, yeah, and just say, well, and actually become someone that is teaching. No, don't do that. That's actually not true. Yes, give the proper information. Look, it's not as bad as you thought. Right? Yes, no one's out to get you yet. Right? Isn't that? Right? There you go. And when you do that, then I guess the next step, though, again, is for people to assume certain things about yourself. Yes? Then you try to, okay, well, you may think that way, but, or the way you're wording that, taking your word for it, the way you're wording it, but actually it's not quite like that. That's not how I feel. That's not how I see things. That's not how I work. Right? And take action. I take action because, all right, yes. Okay, there you go. That's all I have to say this morning in Numbers. Oh, yeah. So, what do you do as a human being? You take back. Hey, wait a minute. Yeah. No, that's not what I said. That's not how I meant it. Yeah, you took that. I don't know why you took that the way you took, because I thought I was pretty articulate about it and proper about it. Most of the time, I do call someone every once in a while, as I said, well deserved. Done. And in a way, what did God do with the firstborn? Got to take those back. They're mine. Going to replace them with the Levites, right? And they are the ones who are going to closely serve me and nobody else. Right? Yes? Everybody will profit from that. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. One can look at things one way or another. It's almost as if you want the truth to prevail and the truth to stand, you've got to make sure that you're always very clear about that stance, which is always in first position. That's the first point. Oh, interesting. Yeah, could talk more about it. Could talk more about it, either clear it up more or get more confused, right? Yes, okay. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you. Stop snowing. And I will talk to you another time.